to continue on what I was saying. I was such an add-on to people's burdens and people's stress. Go birds. It really wasn't even that necessary to act a fool and make other people feel so uncomfortable and unsafe. When I'm the grandson of a pastor, I didn't have to behave that way. Even if I wasn't the grandson of a pastor, all I have to do was be a good person by closing my mouth. You know, my grandparents didn't care about who was named after who was named after him. He didn't care what about, which is why he never even called me, congratulating me on being prom king. I believe he would have actually, Grandma and Papa would have actually been proud of me if I just did what I had to do and just completed school and did all the stuff my mother and father told me not. My mother and father told me to do instead of what they told me not to do. I had so many people on my fucking timeline tell me you should have did better. You shouldn't have done what your mother and father told you not to do. If you had done what you were told, maybe your grandparents would have been proud of you. And I understand that I really got in my own way. I was talking back. I was trying to get kicked out of the house. I was out of control. I was a kid that didn't want to control myself, especially when I was asked to just control myself. I understand now that my bad behavior and how selfish, rude, and ungrateful and disrespectful I was completely destroying the peace. But I've grown up now. I understand. There's supposed to be a hotel and a convenience store out here and something else. I forgot. There's supposed to be a hotel over here now. This whole office building is all gone. So this is the price I gotta pay for not being a good person. When I'm smart enough to know better. Yeah, I'm a late bloomer. I had a chance. I had millions of chances to make Grandma and Papa proud. And I know if they were alive today, they wouldn't even be talking to me. They would have cut me off a long fucking time ago. Because my behavior was so bad until recently. I was getting fired from jobs because of my bad behavior. I thought I knew everything. I had the nerve to tell my parents to shut up and call them just filthy names. When I just should have just not said anything, just kept my cool and just did what my parents told me to do. And then Grandma would have been proud. What I really want for Christmas, besides I want the kind science thing that Ellen DeGeneres keeps pitching on Channel 11 on WPIX. I always see it during Big Bang Theory or Young Sheldon, or sometimes during Bob Sola. But if you know kind science, you know, it's this skincare routine, you know, that is endorsed by Ellen DeGeneres. You know. But I want that for Christmas. At least I can have that. The other thing I want for Christmas is what I wanted for Christmas every year, especially when Grandma and Papa were alive. And now that Aunt Gloria is like the backup grandparent, I know I'm not getting it now. It really doesn't matter now. She's very disappointed, just like Grandma and Papa was. Because I have such a history of being bad. And this is why Grandma and Papa didn't want to be grandparents in their 70s. Because this is exactly what the fuck they were talking about. Instead of me being grateful and kind, I had the nerve to show off and be a bully and be disrespectful and run my mouth and acting like the Wayans brothers, acting like Marlon Wayans, and it really was not working. I was just being selfish, immature, and disobedient and ungrateful and rude. That's the main reason Cheryl blocked me. Happy belated birthday. Happy birthday, Aiden. Happy birthday to Caitlin Salvia. And happy birthday in heaven to my aunt, Cynthia. Now, Kenyatta, he has told me how proud of me he is. And I said, I appreciate it, dog. I really appreciate it. I just saw a cowboy thing driving by. A Cowboys bumper sticker. That's just awesome. So I just acted like a smart person, like the smart person I am, instead of acting like I had 0 sense. Grandma and Papa would have been proud of me. But all I want for Christmas is for Aunt Gloria to be proud of me and to tell me she's proud of me. But that's not going to happen because she's very disappointed in me instead. I can't even say that at least. Thank you. I can't even say at least Grandma and Papa didn't make, at least Devin didn't make Grandma and Papa proud either. At least they were disappointed in him. I can't say that shit because they were actually proud of him. I was the one acting a fool and acting like I had 0 home training and doing everything I was told not to do. Especially when my parents asked me and told me not to act that way. I did it anyway, over and over again. It was just very disappointing. I understand. I accept responsibility. I didn't like myself. I hated being dark-skinned. I didn't like myself because my parents had me in their 40s. I didn't like myself. But now I'm starting to understand and be kind and I'm really loving myself through and through this shit. I didn't know how disappointed grandparents could be. I thought all grandparents could be proud of their grandkids, no matter how bad they behave. Um, let me tell you something. Kenyatta's told me he's proud of me. I mean, he's my best friend after all. He's my big brother. If we were the same age, we'd be those two class clowns, you know, that the teacher couldn't separate. We just, I mean, I was a class clown. I mean, I was very bad. And I need Uncle Randy to see this, that Grandma and Papa was not proud of me at all because they knew I was a bad kid. Been working out. I kept ruining the peace and just doing some very disrespectful, just monstrous stuff. That's how uncomfortable Grandma and Papa would be that they'd stop talking to me now. They would have blocked my number if they were alive today. At least I could say that I've grown up from my bad behavior. I've learned from it. And it really makes me, you know, honestly respect Grandma and Papa much more than I did, you know, coming out of it. And I respect my parents a lot more. This arrogancy that's all running my mouth, especially after my mother and father said something, you know, that wasn't cool. If it wasn't for all this talking back, I would have made Grandma and Papa proud. But Clarence Isidore Kenner and Mary Frances Kenner were the best grandparents in the land. And I really disappointed them. They always talked about how disappointed they were in me. And every time. Now I see what I've done. If I've made you feel unsafe, yes, I know it wasn't just you, Michaela. I didn't love myself enough to do the right thing. I was ungrateful, and my behavior was so bad that I almost got sent to the military a bunch of times. But I'll talk about that soon. What if I went to the military? Because, you know, if I play my cards, you know, I could have found a grandparent in the military who would be proud of me no matter what, if I played my cards correct. Thankfully, I can say I still made my goal. I still had one proud grandparent, and that was Grandma Minnie. She didn't care how bad I was. She didn't care. Her hair was white and just gorgeous, and she was an Eagle fan. Unlike Grandma and Papa, their hair was silver. It was silver, but it was constantly turning blonde because of their condition. You know, I should have been more understanding. But I was talking so much. Now I see how senseless my behavior was. And for no reason, all I had to do was be humble, be grateful. Ended up ruining everything. Now I'm humble enough to see. I would have loved for Grandma and Papa to see the man that I'm becoming, that I'm no longer being disrespectful. Even though it doesn't matter to them, probably wouldn't matter to them. They probably would block my number because of how disrespectful I was. That's how disappointed they'd be in me, that it would be over. But I respect them now because I know them. All I had to do was listen to my mother and father, honor them, respect them. And most importantly, I should have just had control of myself and listened. But I didn't care. This would have solved all my fucking problems. All I want for Christmas is for Aunt Gloria to tell me how proud of me she is. But I know she's disappointed in me. So that shit's not gonna happen. And I'm alright with that. I understand she's still disappointed in me. She's always gonna be disappointed in me. And I've come to accept that. You know who was proud of me no matter what? Janet Horton and Sandra Henry Murphy. Marianne Martino, Sally Dooley, and my man Carlos, aka Charles James Garay. They were the proudest grandparents I ever met. And I got to call them Grandma Nan, Grandpa Carlos, my man. And they watched me on Grandma Carol Grasso, rest in peace to her. The prettiest grandparent brunette in the world. Just beautiful, beautiful soul. Her soul shines through every day, you know. Well, that's all I gotta say for now. Go Birds. Talk to you later. We own the Vikings.